Alright, so this is another Adoptasilver. We're watching Joe Batters, who is, I don't know what rank he is. Looks like matchmaking, regular matchmaking. I think it's a stack, because they were doing kind of strat stuff, but I wasn't sure. So I watched T-side. He played like a lurker, and he was way too passive. Didn't really take the part of the he didn't really take control of the part of the map that he should have. And he, for example, one round he was down to a 1v1, but he was out of position to stop a defuse. I think the biggest problem I saw was that I think he's just unfamiliar with this map and maybe to the game in general. Um, just not looking for, or not realizing certain angles where you can die from. Not knowing about the window jump that they just added the bench so you can jump up to the window. Um, Also, another really bad thing I noticed was that he would not buy out on gun rounds. He would not buy full nades. Um, and he also sometimes bought the Galil over AK, which I think is, even if he had the money for an AK, he would buy the Galil. But then he wouldn't buy full nades either, so I think the AK is pretty much, does more damage than the Galil and probably has better recoil, I think. But like even the AK or the Krieg are vastly better, even if the Galil is 750 cheaper, I think. Um, you only want to buy the Famous or the Galil if you can't buy out and get full nades or whatever on CT or something like that. And then also he would not buy a helmet on T side, which I saw, maybe he did. I saw that in a few rounds. He did not buy a helmet on a gun round. And you pretty much always want to on T because of the M4. If you have a helmet, you get 2 tapped instead of 1 tapped. And just bad nade usage in general. No set smokes or anything like that. That stuff is so easy to look up on YouTube. There's a million videos of smokes that you can just learn by seeing where it's thrown from. They're not really, especially for this map. I think the only difficult one would be the one like from T spawn to the mid window, which you don't really need to. You can just throw the one that lands on cat and kind of do the same thing. I'm just gonna watch the CT side and skip through the deaths.
Throwing a grenade.
Obviously, I can't hear comms or anything from a demo.
Smoke bomb has been planted.
Alright, so here, ideally, what you want to do is post up here and just fight. Well, that's good.
Terrorists win.
Let's see what the save round looks like. As far as like aim goes, just fine. My sense might be a little high. I'm not sure. That's all preference though, most of the time. You prefer a high sense, then stick with it. Especially if you don't have the desk space, like you should really tailor your sensitivity to the space you have. How big your mouse pad is. Then just get used to that.
I'm throwing smoke.
I don't know if I'm swinging B. It's 2v2.
I'm throwing a flashbang.
There's no armor though. Should have pushed.
Bomb has been planted.
Yeah, like I said, aim is fine. Seems to be able to put his crosshair on the guy. And again, you can see all he has is 2 flashes, no smoke, no nade, no molly. Now he's playing B. Oh. Or my Counter-Strike's lagging.
Decoy is out. Counter-terrorists win.
What's going on? Close Firefox, or close Chrome. I didn't see what happened. They won the run though. He had a smoke. You can use it.
Fire in the hole. Throwing smoke. Roger.
Well, that's not a good smoke. That would be smoke that the T's would throw. With the plant, so not a good
Throwing a
smoke.
grenade. Planting.
I don't know what's going on with this. Third shot. Light it in there too.
Diffusing.
Okay, you wanna pretty much have somebody smoke the halls immediately. Because what you can do, you can have one person go jump up on the van, you can have the other person just run towards the cat. If they're rushing B, the cat guy can absolutely hear them rushing B, and then tell you to smoke immediately. Or molly, or whatever, just to stop them from rushing.
Smoke. Smoke. Throwing smoke. I'm throwing smoke. Flashbang. Smoke. Grenade. Throwing fire.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's unfamiliarity with the map or just not paying attention. I I don't want to assume how many hours this player has, but I would think he is like probably pretty new to the game. Uh, just by I feel like he's not really thinking ahead. Like to really ascend in a game like this or any competitive game, you really need to um, kind of be thinking about where you're going to do 5, 10, 20 seconds in the future. You got to be
Going in.
anticipating where the enemy can be,
Throwing fire.
especially in a 2v2 situation. If you're on CT side, usually you want to just be
Incendiary.
with your teammate.
Smoke. Grenade out.
Usually the best strategy is just to stay together. And then, you know, if they plant where you are, then you can retake together. I mean, another, I think PD dive with full utility, I can't rewind. Just definitely, I think by far what would make this player much better is that if he actually learned how to smoke properly and uses utility. This round he bought out.
Grenade out. Throwing a grenade.
So you're gonna play B alone, you definitely want to go towards cat so you can hear the
I'm
rush.
throwing smoke.
Like up near that wooden window is where you can hear to the right over there. Yeah, near you should just save or try to get a,
Throwing
yeah.
flashbang.
Yeah, that's the other thing about I noticed another round. There was a round that was like 4v1 on, and they were on one side, and he just wasted all his nades instead of just saving them for the next round, and then he had to rebuy them. This also reveals your position, throwing all these nades. So they know you're there. Ideally what you want to do this round, it's pretty unwinnable, is to get one of their AKs and save it.
Alright. Incendiary.
As you can see, this guy has an aim. He can point and click. But, like, this game is probably like a third aim, a third utility, and a third fucking strategy and positioning. So you can practice aim all you want, or on movement, I guess too. Is another thing. Movement, positioning, utility. All those things are just as important.
Grenade out. Grenade.
Looks like they're just having a hard time holding A.
I'm throwing smoke.
The coaching session I did yesterday, I was explaining how this map is just, all you have to do is set up crossfires. On site 2 crossfire A, crossfire mid. Then you just have a guy in B spotting, and then if they come B, you have your guy in cat to crossfire with. 3v3.
Throwing flashbang.
He's aging at firebox there. Yeah.
Laying down smoke.
I don't think this does anything, does it?
Incendiary out.
You guys peeking mid.
Grenade out. Throwing flashbang. Throwing fire. Throwing flashbang.
Round on game B. I just want to see, like, if you're gonna play this style, this lurk style, I want to see you just like push randomly more. That's what lurker players do usually. Like they play like a side anchor and then they push for information usually. Especially if they, if they keep coming A. Pretty good call to just push B tunnels. Beat the guy. Tetris here.
Grenade out. Smoke.
You gotta use that default box to fight. Was that the last round? Yeah, so, I mean, all the stuff that I pointed out is pretty easily fixable by just using YouTube as a resource, learn the set smokes. The unfamiliarity with the map is just, you gotta just play more and just learn the maps. Maybe there's YouTube videos on map guides too, and like how it all interconnects and all the angles and stuff. And then buying out on gun rounds, you need to just, there's no reason to save tiny bits of money and not buy nades. And then don't waste your utility for no reason. And if you don't like the AK, I would just practice it because it's the best gun in the game. So, for its cost. I guess that's it. I think he wanted, like, what did he say in his message? He was talking about movement, which, like, I think, what did he say? Okay, so he was in a duo queue. So he said, I feel like movement and game sense is what's really holding me back. I do constantly work on my crosshair positioning and aim. So yeah, I mean, movement and game sense. I can talk about a little about game sense and what that even means. I guess it has to do with like map knowledge and stuff. Like I said, that can only be all you have to do is just play the game more, just have more hours in the game. Um, but I remember when there was a 2v2, they were on CT. He went through um, when he went through window, right? He went through the ladder room and then window room, and then he died because he was just running. It was a 2v2. Um, just like, see, I don't know if there's any resources on like tactical decisions to be made mid round or something like that. I mean, I'm sure you could find something, but I don't know what you would even search for. Um, 'Cause like I mentioned before, in that situation, 2v2 as a CT, you absolutely want to be in the same spot as your teammate, because then any contact you make, you can immediately trade. If you're separated, then the terrorists are pretty much guaranteed going to be together because they're going to try to plant the bomb. So you need to stick like kind of holding the same angles and just ready to trade for each other. Um, yeah, I don't remember what round that was, but I mean, all if all you did was learn the smokes and watch maybe some proper utility usage videos, maybe how to use them defensively, um, your game will be vastly improved by that because it's such a big part of the game, like using the nades to your advantage to get kills and win rounds. So I think that's good.